This is your boy Ephraim Adamz, and I'm here with the one and only
Xiomarie LeBeija.
She is a local drag performer. Well, not just local, but national. Where else have you performed?
Providence, Rhode Island.
Right. So if you leave the state,
Massachusetts.
that's national. That's being national.
Oh, I didn't know.
Okay.
I'm
Right.
national how?
What's your boy name?
My boy name is Giovanni.
Oh, Giovanni. So I'm actually here with Giovanni today.
Xiomarie.
Xiomarie. What made you choose that name?
Well, I was in high school and it was my senior year, and I wanted to become a drag queen. Never had a name. So all my friends from my class, like, we all got to the table at lunch, and we're just throwing names out there. They was like, oh, it should be this, it should be that. But then it was just like, wait, but you're Hispanic, so it should be Mari, it should be this, it should be very Hispanic names. I'm sitting here, I'm just like, okay, I know I live on the east side of Bridgeport. And then next thing you know, it was just like, Xiomarie just popped up in my head. I was like, Xiomarie? And then someone was like, what was that? I was like, Xiomarie. That's it. So I just did Xiomarie.
When you decided that you wanted to do drag, did you just roll over one day and say, oh, I'm going to be a stage performer and just do drag?
Okay, so I've always been on and off stage. As a boy, I did a little bit of Broadway. In middle school, I was like a backup dancer, but I was also singing. I am a Christian, so I used to sing a lot in church, and I used to be a part of the choir. I used to lead the children's choir. My first drag performer that like blew my mind was Natasha Red Rose. She was my mother at one point, and a dear friend of mine's, like, he taught me so much. But when I saw his drag, it was like, holy crap, I want to do that.
Okay.
And he was the one that led me into, okay, well, you need to work on your makeup. And that's what made me, okay, I gotta go work on my makeup. You need to learn how to do your hair. So I gotta go learn how to do my hair.
Okay.
So
you were taking good advice then?
Yeah.
All right. You know, not every drag queen can take criticism and advice.
No, I mean, with all due respect to other girls, you know, whatever, but it's like, I'm fat, I'm big, it's obvious. I've been bullied a majority of my life. So where I'm at right now is I'm so comfortable, I'll read myself before I let anybody else read me, and I'll be perfectly fine if somebody tries to throw some type of shade. Like,
That's true.
I just have thick skin now.
Exactly. You got to be honest with yourself first if you can be honest with other people.
True.
You know, that's how that works. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So where does the LaBeija come from? Because that's like a house name.
LaBeija is famous. House of LaBeija originated in New York. When I was living in Providence, Rhode Island during my college years, I met the overall house father, Derrick LaBeija, and he asked me to be his daughter. The way that I got in, it wasn't even about style. It wasn't about, you know, oh my gosh, he's a thick girl and he knows how to wear it. It was more from the fact that I had talent. It came from a pure place in my heart, and I was illuminating it in a way that, you know, they felt that it was real. You know, becoming a LaBeija is not like, it's not handed out. Like, you have to earn it. But meeting Derrick and working with Derrick saw it in me. Nice. And he was like, "Can you please be a LaBeija?" And I said, "Okay."
Oh, okay.
aspect that becoming a drag queen, you need to learn how to do your own makeup.
This is true.
And I didn't know how to do my own makeup. I thought throwing on CoverGirl foundation and putting some yellow on my eyes and an eyeliner was it. And there's way more. When you start getting into it, there's way more, to it. So I decided to take classes so that I can learn myself. But not only learn for myself, but maybe I can take something away with it and make my own money.
When you're on stage and, you step out into the crowd, what goes through your mind? You have to commend people who go on stage because it can be really, really scary.
Yeah.
Everyone's looking up at you.
Yeah.
Some people are clapping. Some people are not into it.
Some people are grabbing their
shady.
drinks, looking at you like.
Some people are on their phone.
My mentality is don't mess up the words, don't trip, don't fall off stage.
Don't do a tumble.
Don't do a tumble. Something I've learned from my grandmother, which is Dirty Dixie Normus, that she lives in Milford.
Your drag grandmother.
My drag grandmother.
Okay.
She's always taught me connect with the crowd. Find some way to connect with the crowd. And an easy way I found connecting with the crowd is smiling. Like, you just look into the crowd and you smile, and it makes them feel, okay, she's here to entertain.
Okay.
She's here
Smile.
to let us in. I don't have my contour, so I don't look pregnant.
Okay, smiling is key. What are some other tips?
Don't come off too seductive.
That's true. Not every song is a sexy song.
Exactly. Like, not every song. If you're doing, Stranger in My House, you don't want to go grab somebody and put them in your tits just to get $1. That's not, you have
Right.
you have to connect to the music. Like, you want to show character, and that's what I try to portray in all my shows.
How do people react? Because the stigmas that comes along with being bigger or heavyset or chubby or whatever. I mean, I like them a little thick, but when they see you doing a handstand and doing the front flips and doing the splits and the kicks and the...
It depends, because in every crowd, you will have like 4 set of people, and I'll explain those 4 set of people. You have the ones that are just there spectating, and they're just drinking their drink, and you can do whatever you want, and they're just watching.
So they're unfazed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you have the ones that are drunk, that when you do those stunts, it's like, oh my God.
Okay. They're livid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you have the ones that, like the first timers, where, okay, she's plus size or whatever, that when I do those stunts, they're like...
They're in shock.
An immediate shock.
Wow.
And then you have those that have already seen your shows and already know who you're about. And it's just there like, yes, look, I do it, yes, yes.
So you have your fans.
I wouldn't say, I don't like calling them fans. I like to call them supporters.
Okay, supporters.
A fan is like someone, I feel like it's like calling someone like a follower, but in a negative aspect.
Interesting. All right.
Versus a supporter, which is there because of the fact that they want to be there, because they want to see you exceed, because they want to see your talent,
Okay. Would you all agree with that? Are you out? Like out of the closet?
Of course, I couldn't fit anymore.
Oh.
Yes, I am out of the closet. I'm out, period. But with my family, it's a more don't ask, don't tell. When I first came out, my mother, she cried as if it was her fault. From there on out, it was just pure arguments, pure hatred. I got to a point where I really hated my mother. I felt like she was making my life, miserable. I went through the whole trying to commit suicide. I used to cut my wrists.
Oh no.
I used to cut my wrists. I used to, I ended up going to class one day, and my cuts still weren't healed, so I couldn't stay in class. I lied and said my cat did it, but when my mom came, she looked at my arms and she was like, "You're still cutting yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah." But then when it got to the whole drag queen thing, at first it was like, "Oh my God, you want to be a drag queen now?" And then it went to the whole, "All right, we accept it, just do it on the side." Then it got to the point of, "I don't want no female things in my house. You are not a girl, you're a guy. I had a son, not a daughter." Okay. And it was very hurtful because it was like, as many times as I tried to sit there and, educate her, she did not want, she didn't want to hear it. It was always, God hates gays. God does not allow that, this and that. And it wasn't for the fact that she was telling me God hates gays. It's just the fact that, unfortunately, there are a lot of ignorant Christians out there that like to feed that to, their congregation. And it's like, she was just going through the whole mentality of, "Oh my God, my son is going to go to hell."
Now, are you guys in a better place now?
Oh yeah, because I moved out. No, okay, so...
unfortunately, not everyone can do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the way that all that, like, I quit drag for a year. And throughout that year, it was torturing. Because I would do my makeup and practice my makeup, but then it was like, I had no costumes. I had this cute little purple bustier. But I had what I ended up doing is I grabbed everything, I put it in a big garbage bag, and I threw it out.
Oh, wow.
And I did it so that my mom could get off my back. The only thing I kept were my wigs. And
has she seen any of your shows?
Yeah.
Like live?
No.
Not live, but she's seen them like online.
My first big show, which was like the first time I was supposed to perform, she came to the event because it was for my birthday. She came to the event, but she left an hour before I performed.
Oh wow.
To go.
So she hadn't seen you in full.
Oh, well, no, she's seen me in full drag.
But she hadn't seen you in full-blown performance mode or whatever.
No, and remind me, that's 4 years ago.
It feels like a lot of people are hesitant until they see the actual show.
But even
because then you're getting a different dynamic.
Because I used to always show her my videos, and
right.
It's just like, she'll watch them, but she was just over it. She's like, okay, whatever.
Oh, I see.
That's the thing is, I've never had a problem with my talent, especially when it came to booking, because it was like, I was either gonna get paid, what the club gave me, but I also was getting paid in tips. And there was times where my mother had no problem sitting down, helping me with my tips, taking them, opening them up, especially because when I first started, shout out to Robin Banks' show, which is also in New Haven. I used to work for her, and like I used to come home with a Price Right bag almost halfway filled with all dollar bills. That's not including my tips. And with Robin Banks, you do 3 or 4 numbers. And in the summer, they're crowded. So it's like, my mother had no problem when I used to come home with that money, because it was like, here's my phone bill.
Oh, she didn't mind the drag, but she didn't mind the payoff.
Yeah.
I see.
It was very difficult.
Okay.
Where we are right now, it's like I said, don't ask, don't tell. She knows I still do drag. I don't give her any type of confirmation that I am doing it. And since I no longer live in her household, it's gotten to the point where it's like, it's pretty much none of her business anymore, because it's not under her roof.
Exactly. Quickly, we're going to play a little game.
Oh, God.
Of things you have or have not done while in drag.
Oh, while in drag?
While in drag. So I'm just going to throw a few of them out there. Okay. Cooking.
Yes, ramen noodles.
You cooked ramen noodles in drag?
Yeah.
Okay.
In college, yeah. I used to always be in drag.
Okay. Driving.
Always.
Okay, we've driven in drag all the time, to and from a show, I take it?
Yeah.
Okay. Dating in drag.
I'm kind of popping that cherry now, but details will be later.
Oh, I see. All right. Sex.
Hell no.
You have not had sex while in drag.
Have you seen me perform and saw the amount of sweat that comes off of me? That is just disturbing.
Okay. I'm sure there's some people out there who could
2 pigs in a blanket.
say for themselves differently, I'm
yes,
sure.
I bet. Uh-huh.
Shopping in drag.
Actually, yes. I went grocery shopping in full drag.
You
I'm
did.
dead serious. And I went grocery shopping with my EBT card.
Wow, with your EBT card.
With my,
All
I
right,
was
now.
fancy. I did the pinky and everything. I was like, ooh.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, do you remember that thing we saw? Where the screw goes into the penis head.
The devil's a lie.
We saw this chastity device type of fetish thing, and it was like a screw that goes
It was
into
it was one a dentist. You know the dentist that they have the hook. It was that thin, and it was straight with zigzags on the ends.
Mm-hmm. And
And
they put
you
that
put
in
it
there.
in your pee hole. You put it in a pee hole. That's a pee hole. They put it in, and then they take the lock and they kind of put it over.
The
wait,
torture of it all.
I should go this way because the balls are
Who
over
would
here. so
create
it goes-
such a device?
The devil.
I could not imagine. Now in the back room there was the boom boom booths, the little naughty rooms.
Were they in both of them? Because we went to 2.
Right. I wasn't there. But the little boom boom room where you see the little video monitors and the glory holes and stuff.
Yeah. I was asking. I was like, "Can I just peek?" And they're like, "No, you have to pay to get in. How much is it?"
It was $10 or
$10, and I was just like, "So what do I get when I go in there?" And they were like, "Whatever you want."
How do you feel when you're in drag and men mistake you for being a real woman?
Okay, so that's kind of touchy because it's like when that happens to me, I kind of feel upset because I feel like I'm portraying something that is a lie.
Interesting.
So they mistaken me for being a woman, and I don't mean for them to come at me like as if I'm a woman. So I do feel some type of way whenever it happens where it's like, you know, hey girl, let me talk to you. I'm like, excuse me, but I'm a performer. I only perform. This is my job. Oh, but you're a man? Yeah, I apologize. Like that's one thing I always do is like I apologize. I'm a man.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize for trying to that popped up in your mind and was like, oh, that's a girl.
The illusion.
Yeah,
of it
the
all.
illusion. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm really good at it because there's so many people who are better than me, but I'm good enough where I get a lot of people who write me and I sit there and I'm like, I don't play with it. I put it out there. I'm like, listen, I'm a man.
Mm-hmm.
I perform. So whenever they come up to me and they try to talk to me, I'm like, I either try to do it in a cute way, depending on, you gotta read the person first.
Exactly.
If it's this big husky man that's like, yo, Ma, come here. I'm just like, sorry, I have a man. I'm sorry. But then if it's like this regular guy, it's like, I'm sorry, I'm a man.
There seems to be perks to that where some performers love that as a compliment because they feel like drag is now more about looking more fishy, as you guys call it,
Yeah.
fishy and stuff. And then, there's also a downside because you could get yourself hurt.
Yeah, you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. Like, I'm one of those girls that do my makeup kind of like on the fishy side, but with a twist. But I'm, I try to do the twist to the point where someone can tell that's a man. But unfortunately, me being big, I have a lot of features that I can portray better than most, such as like.
Oh, because you're curvier.
I'm curvier, but then it's like I have fat here, so I lift them up, and it's like it's tits, and it's like, oh my god, but you have tits, and I'm just like, yeah, but I have an Adam's apple too, but you can't see it because I have no neck, so it's like, it's just it puts me in a predicament where it's like, how am I gonna go with this? How can I be real? Because that's one thing I want to portray is someone who's real. I'm not trying to look the fishiest. But I'm also not trying to look, the most painted. I'm trying to look as Xiomarie LeBeija. Xiomarie, point blank, period.
All right.
Yeah. The only thing I gotta do is go to church and drag.
Well,
Stop.
I did see a flyer recently called the Church Brunch or something.
Oh.
And where all the drag queens are performing at a church in Springfield, Mass.
Really?
It was very, very different to me.
Oh no, I saw that.
You saw the flyer?
Yes.
Okay, right.
I seen that. Props to you.
Right. All right. Praising God. We're doing drag in the church scene. Nothing wrong with it.
There's actually a church, if I'm not mistaken, here in Hartford that they are very gay accepting, and
I think that's right downtown in Hartford. It was drag gospel, and everyone did gospel songs. That's exactly what it was.
I want to do that. I would do Tamala Man, Take Me to the King, or Wrap Me in Your Arms,
right?
Or There Is Power in the Name of Jesus. Oh, don't get me started.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I can't wait till our next field trip.
Hell yeah! I thank God I fit in the camera.
Oh my goodness! Stop.
No, I'm so serious.